Alright, so I've been working on this song that everybody who plays banjo should know. It's a folk song called John Hardy. And I made the mistake of starting to learn the tabbed version of it, and I was so caught up trying to get the tab technique down, I just couldn't hear couldn't see the forest from the trees on this song. I was just a bunch of pretty noodly bits, and it was cool because I was getting better control of my drop thumb, and I'm a better drop thumb player because of it. But I didn't learn this song, so I ended up downloading some guitar chords from one of those guitar chord sites, and lo and behold, it only has 2 chords. Don't I feel stupid? So it's just pretty much it's pretty much just C and G, and technically it has an F thrown in for just like a quarter beat. It's something kind of like John Hardy was a desperate little man. He carried 2 guns every day. Shot down a man on the West Virginia line. You ought to seen John Hardy getting away. You ought to seen John Hardy getting away. That's kind of it. So it's just C, F, C, G, C, F, C, G, C, F, C, G, then G. Now I chose to play the G further up the neck. I'm doing the F shape, and I just slide it up a whole step so that you can see that my ring finger's on the 4th string, 5th fret, middle finger's on the 3rd string, 4th fret, pointer finger's on the 2nd string, see, 2nd string, 3rd fret, pinky's on the 1st string, 5th fret, right? And it just kind of gives it a little bit of variety instead of playing that open G. Right? So once I got that down, and the reason I snuck that F in, even though the chords don't have it, is everybody online I see play this song, and even in the tabs, it has that. So sometimes they'll do that down here on the 1st string, so it's. Right? But really what's going on there is the C's just being dragged. So when I put my pinky finger down here, I'm really just doing the F, right? So, but the reason when you do that pinky finger trick is because there's really not enough time to switch to that dreaded F chord shape. So if you just stick to your C shape and then you drop your pinky finger down on the 1st string or 4th string, I've been liking the 4th string more because it sounds like more of a bass run, kind of a country song sound. You just put that pinky finger on the 1st or 4th string on the 3rd fret. So it kind of has that Johnny Cash bass guitar run, right? Right? So it's. So the middle finger, if I'm playing the 4th string open, and I use my middle finger on the 2nd fret, which is where it would be with the C chord shape, and then my pinky finger on the 3rd fret, which is really where it would be if I was doing the full F shape. So put it all together, you start with your C. So this is what I ended up with. I'll kind of play it out how I landed on it and try to explain some of that. So. So hopefully that sounded more complicated than it really was. So this is why it's really good to learn a song from the chords, because when you get the chords down, then you can start applying all the noodly bits that you've been working on before. So So right at the get-go, I take that C chord and I just kind of do maybe I just do a full chord hammer on. So I do that full chord hammer on, and maybe I'd throw a little drop thumb in. And you don't have to do what I'm doing. You just really, the only notes you gotta land is that. That's it. That's the song. Everything else is just extra, and you could throw it away. Everything else is just to give rhythm. You could also do that on the first string. So put that all together. So that there I'm just doing strike, strum, strike. Strike, strum, strike. So. Just kind of show both hands here. And really I'm just finishing out the measure with some drop thumb. You could, instead of drop thumb, you could do some hammer-ons maybe. But I've got that muscle memory with the drop thumb now. So, and then when I get to the G shape down here, I kind of start with that. So I'm not really, it's still frailing. You can still hear the bum ditty in the background, but it's, so in that case, I'm just not doing the thumb part. I'm just going, and maybe I kind of loosen up on this chord as I strum, give it kind of a vamp sound. Notice I haven't even used my thumb yet. So the first half of that G part, I do that, and then I finish off with the drop thumb. Kind of the second half of the measure, I'm just using my little drop thumb shortcut for noodly bits. But then on the second round of that G chord, instead of using the drop thumb to break those quarter notes in half, I use a lot of phantom hammer-ons. I'm taking my middle finger now, and that's it's a nice little. And do whatever sounds good to you. So it doesn't have to be the middle finger. It could be any of them, really. You could even just play the open G and just go. So it's cool. But I kind of like that. You can really interchange the phantom hammer-ons for the drop thumb technique. You just basically it's just a machine gun of quarter notes broken in, or eighth notes, just da 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 da. You know, so it's however you get there. That's cool, and that's why it's so good to learn it from the chords rather than from the tabs, because you can kind of improvise. And the really cool thing is, if you listen to this song, 100 different videos, they're all playing it different. I don't know where they all learned it from, but it's so cool to see how these songs get a life of their own. So it's. Hardy, he was a desperate little man. He carried 2 guns every day. He shot down a man on the West Virginia line. You should have seen John Hardy getting away. You should have seen John Hardy getting away. Alright, that wasn't a very formal video. It's just kind of a hot mess of me figuring out John Henry without having to learn the tabs. So, there you go.